Hello, good morning. We would like to talk to you today about Think Positive's one community approach. So you might have seen us throwing this word around, or phrase around. We are going to continue to throw this phrase around for the foreseeable future. It's what we are looking to do as a whole with the project moving forward. So, you know how we all like to talk about the one institution approach to mental health? What if instead we talked about a one community approach? And what if that one community was Scotland? This has come from all sorts of bits and pieces of work. So we know that there is so much work going on across Scotland to support student mental health. There's a variety of initiatives and frameworks and bits and pieces that people can tap into and use, which is fantastic. But when we were asked by our participants and the project advisory group to map them out and see how they fit together, it was a mammoth task. And as well as doing as much of this amazing work internally, you know, the institutions and essays that we work with to create their mental health agreements, they've also often developed partnerships with external organisations. The number of these local partnerships is absolutely impressive. They've often drawn on the experience and expertise of a range of organisations to help support their students. And what we'd really like to do is explore how do we reflect that network and how do we share it in a way that it doesn't feel a mammoth task and it does feel something that people can tap into and use and know about.
So yeah, after all of that thinking and mulling over what we could do, we decided that we would hold a sector-wide conference in May, and we wanted to showcase best practice and facilitate connections across the sector in Scotland. We knew that there are so many leaders who specialise in their field and so many, you know, people who campaign and raise awareness of issues affecting students' mental health in Scotland. So we were also going to ask key people from across the sector to join a working group to get all those fantastic minds together in one room. There are so many experts doing so many great things, and you know, we wanted to facilitate a wider conversation on what could be done at a national level to improve support for student mental health and well-being, and bring all of that support together so that yeah, it was just in one place rather than scattered around. And the aim after all of that was to produce a document setting out an action plan for the next steps to improve student mental health. But unfortunately, the global pandemic had other ideas, and we had to postpone our original conference, but not the work. Instead, what we did was we utilised the date that we had booked in everybody's diary, May 11th, and we held an alternative online event to showcase the work being done to combat the impact of COVID on student mental health, because that was kind of the priority at that moment, and we wanted to be relevant and useful in any way that we could. So we held a live roundtable with representatives from various organisations to discuss challenges, solutions and next steps. We also created a weekly forum and a Slack group, which we'll go into more detail later, as a space for these conversations to continue. This weekly forum has continued too, which is great, but we'll talk about that later. We also developed our One Community Conversation series through interested participants to include external organisations in this wider conversation.
So yeah, so the One Community Conversation series really came out of the May 11th online event. So we realised that there was a massive interest from, you know, external organisations, but also from our participants to kind of meet and talk to people who they possibly wouldn't normally interact with. So Jess set up a range of, you know, meetings with these external organisations and organised for them to come along to our weekly forum for a bit of a short showcase of the work that they're doing at the moment. So often focusing on kind of COVID during COVID work, but you know, a lot of it is obviously just continual business as usual work, and really just to showcase the massive range of initiatives and link up the sector. At our May 11th event, we arranged a roundtable of various sector experts. So we had representatives from the Scottish Government, the SFC, NHS, we had representatives from universities and colleges and students' associations, as well as external organisations. You know, it was a big group of people came together live on YouTube and talked about the challenges of COVID on our student mental health and well-being, and also, you know, potential solutions, and then what the next steps could be and how we move on from, you know, these challenges and try to implement some of the solutions. So following on from that, and as we've started to think about, you know, what we do next, we've moved our full conference with the exactly the same original plan onto, we've moved it over to the 28th and 29th of October. So we're spreading the days and we're spreading the conversation even further. We've got our pre-recorded show reels with, you know, showcases of all different initiatives going on. We'll be dropping those throughout the day on the 28th of October, and encouraging you to kind of tweet and share these videos and join in the conversation, really. This can be, you know, on the day or next week or, you know, next month, really just for you to view and share as much as you like. And then we'll still be having all our live workshops and panel discussions on the 29th of October. You know, we really just want to share the massive range of various initiatives that organisations are doing to support student mental health, and also connect people and encourage networking through our small group workshops and, you know, our social media conversations. So really this sprang up from this need to carry on these discussions, and so I've put the little post-its that came out of our May 11th roundtable events, because, you know, a few of them said we want to carry on these discussions, and we thought we could try and do that.
So how can you get involved? So our conference videos, as Molly said, will be dropping on our social media pages on the 28th of October. You can share them, you can watch them, comment, react, just engage with them if you want to. You can engage with our Twitter conversation, be a part of the conversation, use the hashtag SSMHC2020. And you can get in touch. You can email us if you want to. You can join our Slack group, which is brilliant. We post the notes from each session. We post all sorts of things. It's a great place to be. And you can come along to our weekly forums and one community conversation series. We also have the opportunity for you to sign up to contribute to the National Action Plan. So look out for more information on that.
Really, the beauty of this work is that we are all experts here. Everybody has a role to play in designing the future of student mental health support in Scotland. And this National Action Plan must be created by all of us in order to be a one community approach. We look forward to hearing from you soon.